Welcome to my 25th Wild Watches video. Today, I will be talking about the movies I watched in the month of January 2018. I will talk about them individually, starting now. The first movie I watched was Tenebrae, or Tenebrae, or however you want to pronounce it. This is one of Argento's finest films. It's actually a really good giallo whodunit kind of movie, with a shocking twist. Argento is just the master of giallo, in my opinion. I mean, after films like Phenomena came out, he wanted to go back to his roots with Tenebrae, and damn did he deliver. The second movie I watched was After the Fall of New York. Highly enjoyable movie. Michael Sopke is a great actor for this kind of movie. He was also in Monster Shark and something else I forgot. Blast Fighter. You can't really go wrong, because this film also has George Eastman. So, haha. It was directed by Sergio Martino, who is a great director for the Italian sleaze genre. He also made Hands of Steel, a whole bunch of great stuff. The third movie I watched was The Lost World from 1925. My first silent film, and it was highly entertaining, surprisingly. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. The hell out of it. The effects were great for the time, and the actors portrayed their characters with enthusiasm, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. The fourth movie I watched was Lethal Weapon 2, my favorite out of the entire franchise, from parts 1 to 4. This is just everything the first one was, but amplified, and it works so well at what it does. It does its own thing, so it's really cool. The fifth movie I watched was The Being. This is a cheesy-ass movie. It was directed by the girl who did Night Patrol and Blood Diner. I forget her name. Jackie Khan. It takes place on Easter, so I think that's when I'll review it. But originally it was called Easter Sunday. I'll have to review that one for Easter. The sixth movie I watched was Sasquatch, The Legend of Bigfoot. I watched most of this with my dad. He, kind of fell asleep around an hour in. It's an entertaining movie. It's slow burn, but when it gets to the good stuff, it gets to the good stuff. And the Blu-ray transfer I have is pretty cool. It's not a really great transfer or anything, it's just nice to actually be able to see the creatures this time. And it also comes, the Blu-ray I have from Code Red, it comes with a double-billed Encounter with the Unknown, and it also has the first, 5-10 minutes of the original movie of Sasquatch, The Legend of Bigfoot, with footage that people have been looking for quite some time. I'll have to record it and put it online at some point, because it's just amazing. The seventh movie I watched was Death Wish, the 1974 classic. Charles Bronson is amazing in this movie, and I think this is just one of the best vigilante movies ever made. I love The Exterminator, I love a whole bunch of vigilante stuff, but Death Wish is one of the OGs when it comes to vigilante. It's a hard hitter. The eighth movie I watched was Deadly Jaws. This came out before Jaws, but it has barely any shark action, and the sharks never really interact with the people too much, nor do they eat anybody. It's kind of ridiculous. But it's still entertaining, the characters are likable. I really enjoyed it. I really did. The ninth movie I watched was Night of the Sharks. Much more enjoyable than Deadly Jaws. It also has more sharks attacking people, or more of a shark attacking people, which was solely missing from Deadly Jaws. It's a great contribution to the shark genre. The 10th movie I watched was Slithus, a creature from the Black Lagoon, humanoid type creature, which causes quite the bloody mess for a PG-rated film. Still, it could have been better. There's too much investigating of what is going on, and it becomes a sort of a mystery rather than a monster movie. The last half hour is pretty enjoyable. More like the last 15 minutes. The 11th movie I watched was It from 2017. I actually watched this twice. Once with just me and my brother, and then once with my brother, his girlfriend, and me. It's a really good movie. Not my favorite Stephen King movie, though. It might be. I'm not sure. I like a lot of Stephen King movies and books, but 2017 is one of the best. And it really works well for what it's trying to do, which is be bigger and better than the original TV miniseries. And it works. It's a very beautiful film to look at, and it's pretty creepy at parts, too. The 12th movie I watched was Annabel Creation. I watched this with my brother and his girlfriend, and we had a blast most of the time. It's kind of a slow burn, but it does have some good moments. Don't get me wrong. Is it 1,000 times better than the first Annabelle? No, but it's still enjoyable. The 13th movie I watched was Warriors of the Wasteland, aka The New Barbarians. I love this movie. It's so dumb and fun that you can't help but love it. It's a post-apocalyptic movie with Fred Williamson and George Eastman, who are more important characters than the main character, which is pretty ridiculous. But the 14th movie I watched was Bad Moon. I watched this with my mom and brother's girlfriend, and we had a great time watching it. It's a quick werewolf movie, some minor gore, and the werewolf is just amazing in this movie. The practical effects are great. CGI, not so much. Practical, oh yeah. The 15th movie I watched was Spookies. This movie was like 3 or 4 different stories tied into one movie, and it kind of worked and it kind of didn't, which is ridiculous because there are some cool ideas and some amazing effects jumbled up into this big ol' mess. The 16th movie I watched was Orca. I watched the Blu-ray from Umbrella Entertainment, and I love the transfer. I think it comes with the commentary track too, which I'll have to watch soon. The 17th movie I watched was Grizzly. Crazy movie. I watched the Shriek Show version with my dad. I got the new Blu-ray from Scorpion releasing. Not that much of a great difference, but still. Grizzly's a lot of fun. I think it's one of the better Killer Bear movies out there. It's a clear ripoff of Jaws, but the characters are just so great. The 18th movie I watched was Just Before Dawn. The 1981 film. I didn't watch the better transferred version. I watched the extended edition from Code Red, and I love it even more. You get more time with the characters, a little bit more blood, not too much, but I really enjoyed it. And the film is atmospheric as hell. The 19th movie I watched was Tremors 3, Back to Perfection. I used to hate this movie, but it's grown on me very slowly, and I find myself loving it even more and more. Is it better than part 4? Maybe. Is it better than part 2 and 1? No. Is it better than part 5? Kind of on the same ballpark there. Still enjoyable, and I can't wait for Tremors 6, or the TV movie series there. The 20th movie I watched was Power Rangers, the 2017 readaptation of the TV series. I used to watch it like crazy when I was a kid. This movie turned out to be really, really good. I like the short, but not as much as this. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to love the short way more than the PG-13, a watered-down version. The short was like hard R. This is like PG-13, but at least it wasn't PG or G. That'd be ridiculous. The 21st movie I watched was Lethal Weapon 3. Hell yeah. So this movie was really good. Not as good as parts 1 or 2, but it was highly enjoyable. It's a step down, but it still works. So, pat on the back to Richard Donner for this one. And the last but not least 22nd movie I watched was actually on a site that I found. And I did end up buying the Blu-ray, because that's what I do if I ever watch a movie online. I have to buy the Blu-ray and DVD to compensate. And it was Victor Crowley. Hell yeah. I've been waiting for this movie for like a year, and it did not disappoint. Whew. The gore is incredible in this movie. Not as gory as the previous entries too much, about as gory as Hatchet 3. I really loved it. It was crazy, it was violent, it had great characters, it was funny, so I'd highly recommend it to any Hatchet movie fan. So those are it. Those are the 22 movies I watched in the month of January 2018. Holy crap, that's a lot of movies. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below to leave comments and subscribe.